Uh, hey everybody. I decided to take a easy day and just relax, not even turn the lights on, just kind of ease through the day, you know. Oh, I got my Sharpie. I'm not marking any money today. Funny story about money though. I made 12 cents last night trying to get people to check out my website and see if any of the links we put in were broken. Just by telling people to test it, my Google ads were on it, and I made 12 cents. But let's see. I decided that I woke up and I checked my email and I had 3 more tags in my email, and I've been tagged a lot this week and I haven't gotten to any of them. So I'm going to just sit around and do tag videos like all day. I got the fan on me. Yeah, got some Mountain Dew. Nothing else I need. And then after I finish all my tag videos, I'm probably going to watch the rest of season 2 of Misfits. It's a British show. The parts about wanking into a sock had me rolling. Really funny stuff about superheroes. It's like, I guess, it's like Heroes here in America, only really raunchy humor all through it. So, I'm a bit scatterbrained. I've been up late night with Brian, working on my website. Let's get to the point of this video. I think this one is the latest tag I got. Last in, first out. It was from AtomBomb669, and his was about stand-up comedians. Stand-up in particular. Not like comedians in general. But I don't like a lot of stand-up comedians. So I'll try to answer it as best as I can, but a lot of the stand-up comedians that I like have only been stand-up for a very short time in their career. So it's like Tim Allen had if you search really hard, you can find this tape of Tim Allen laying the groundwork for the Home Improvement series, and it's a stand-up comedy special that he did, and he talks about cavemen going through the women's sections of Sears to get to the tool section of Sears, like Sears specifically, and he's like, and they push the clothes aside, ar ar ar, and he was doing that caveman grunt from the beginning, and you can see in that stand-up, like, that stand-up was like the pilot for his whole show, and I didn't like the show as much as that one stand-up special. It was awesome. Also, I have a copy of a comedy special that Bill Cosby did, where he says, and I quote, "Suck my dick and lick my balls and suck it." And from then on, he kind of did a lot more family-friendly stuff, and a lot of comedians do that. They see that they get a little bit of success and they change their tone a bit. So, but that's a little comic gem that I have on my hard drive right now that I'm never getting rid of. It's so funny to see Bill Cosby saying curse words. Also, a long time ago, Eddie Murphy, in a stand-up comedy bit, he was saying his one and only joke that didn't have fuck in it, that fuck wasn't every other word. He tried his hardest to make one clean joke, and if you can find that, I have it. I have a copy of it, but it is a very funny, clean joke, and it's been passed around a lot, and uncredited. Nobody realizes that that was Eddie Murphy's joke, but back in the day, Eddie Murphy was known for just swearing up a storm, and now he does Dr. Dolittle, you know? So, a lot of comedians change over time. Let's see. My favorite comedians. Now, see, Adam said that these comedians have to be alive and have to have performed recently. And it's like, my favorite comedians are like Bill Hicks and George Carlin, and they're both dead. You know? So, and if you know either of their humor, and you see what's on my YouTube channel, you probably know why. Those are my two favorite comedians. They're just right up my alley. But the comedians that you wouldn't think that would be my favorite would be Emo Phillips and Mitch Hedberg. Now, Emo Phillips is like the king of the paraprosdokian. It's like a sentence with a non sequitur in it, and the sentence changes at the end into something that you really wouldn't expect. And a lot of his jokes, if you look into a lot of the jokes that he started, like I miss my ex-wife, but my aim is getting better. You know, that was a takeoff of his original joke, and now it's on bumper stickers everywhere, uncredited. He's the one that started these jokes. And there's a lot of comedians that reuse other people's material, like Carlos Mencia, or as Joe Rogan says, Carlos Mencia. But and you know, Aldous Valor here on YouTube, he likes to make jokes his own. But I think Emo Phillips, being the originator of all of these non sequitur style jokes that are actually funny, I think he deserves a lot of credit that he doesn't get. And next time he comes through town, that's like the one show that I want to see. Fuck Jeff Dunham and his puppets. No. I want to see Emo Phillips. And if I can't see Emo Phillips, I'll take Mitch Hedberg. As far as other comedians that I like Jon Stewart and Stephen Colbert. And I've liked Stephen Colbert from his time on The Daily Show, when he was just like a correspondent on The Daily Show, before he got his own show. And his delivery on skits such as The God Machine, where like, I really loved that skit from The Daily Show. And they do it like once a week, and there was like 4 shows a week, so one of those 4 shows would have The God Machine in it, for, you know, and that went on for months, and it was my favorite part of the show. Also, Jon Stewart's delivery, and especially Jon Stewart when he's interviewing people, sometimes will be very spontaneous in some of his jokes. And both of those performers, they have teams of writers behind them for their jokes, so you can't give them all the credit. But when you see Jon Stewart make a joke in the middle of an interview, I think that shows a little bit more of his abilities. And I'd have to say, and a lot of people would disagree with me on this, especially in the community on YouTube that I'm in, but one of my favorite jokes would be a story from Ron White called Tater Salad. And just Google it or search it on YouTube, Ron White, Tater Salad. If you're not laughing during that, then you don't have a pulse. It's one of the funniest stories ever. I don't really think he's returned to anything at that level of funny. That story was very polished, had little jokes in it all the way through it, you know. So those are the comedians that I like. The next part of Adam's tag was for comedians you don't like. And I will say, first off, I guess, Seth from Family Guy and Matt Groening from The Simpsons. They have styles that make me laugh, but then there's one thing about both of those shows that leaves the rest of my household in stitches, but I will be sitting there like, that's not funny. That's not funny. And it's them not being able to use the non sequitur properly. Basically just doing cuts to the 80s. They're not funny. You know, it's just an appeal to people's memories. And I know this has something to do with one of my majors being English and creative writing and all that, but when I see a cut to an 80s scene, there's nothing funny about that, you know? Also, comedians that I don't find funny, Jerry Seinfeld is oftentimes not funny to me because he's just describing a situation. Like, you ever notice that most people with a brain know that the toilet paper goes over the top and not under, but all of us have one friend who seems to like it to, you know, be on the roll going under. What's the deal? You know, and that's a horrible impersonation of Jerry Seinfeld. But that's basically what his comedy is. It's just, he observes something and he describes it. Also guilty, Dane Cook. And I was happy to see Dane Cook on the list of comedians that Adam didn't like, because Dane Cook does the same thing. He just makes observations, doesn't add punchlines, doesn't add anything funny. He just observes things. Yeah. And I guess here on YouTube, the least funny comedian of late that I've seen would be T-Master 1978, whose comedy is just calling me fat and calling Aldous Valor fat. Fat, fat, fat. Fat, fat. You guys are fat. Yeah. Okay. And it's because he's stuck in a rut, because I had a problem with him using the term, how fat of you, well, with his girlfriend in order to control her fat behavior. He would make little jokes like that, and it's wrong, it's hurtful, and, you know, he hasn't gotten over it. And every time someone tells me to go watch one of his videos or watch a certain part of it, and, you know, skip to this part because he's talking about you, he's just calling me fat as if it's a joke. And he's laughing, but of course he's laughing because he's smoking pot in his videos. So, yeah. I mean, anyone can do comedy like that, where you're just making observations and, you know, not really throwing a punchline in there. If I were to try to do that, I would say, so yeah, today I called the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department, and I was like, hey, I know this guy Shane, and he makes YouTube videos with him smoking pot in them, and he puts them out on YouTube for everyone to see. And here's my attempt at a lame punchline. Would it be tampering with evidence at this point, after I've given the sheriff's department his address and the address to all of the YouTube videos online? Would it be tampering with evidence if you were to take the videos down at this point? Because, you know, that's evidence of him doing it, and they've seen the evidence. So it kind of puts people in the situation of, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't. What's the deal? So yeah. Also, I thought it was pretty funny this week, as I was reading down the manifesto from Anders Breivik, that his favorite comedian, you know, in this 1,500 pages, this is like one funny thing that I found in there. His favorite comedian is Pat Condell. Don't believe me? Download the 1,500 page thing and just do the Control F search for Pat Condell. You'll find it. Yeah. The only person I'm going to tag with this one, because I'm probably going to tag a whole bunch of people, I'm going to tag my lovely Dame 21, because she doesn't make enough videos. Yeah, and my next tag video should be out after I upload this one, like 30 minutes after. So, yeah.